Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. This is Jordan. Thanks for coming to The Curious Mind, plus my Rumble channel and my other YouTube channel. We are speaking about Megyn Kelly going on Piers Morgan today, and also in my state of California, Governor Gavin Newsom, the demon himself, it seemed like has committed treason. We will get to that at the end of this video, but first we're going to be reacting to Piers Morgan Uncensored. If you want me to react or talk about anything in the future, just let me know. If you want to join some of my live panel discussions in the near future, let me know as well. Again, I hope you guys are having a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it, y'all.
Well, joining me to discuss all this is the host of the Megyn Kelly Show, Megyn Kelly. Megyn, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How you doing, Piers?
I'm good. I was just watching Donald Trump back in my homeland of the United Kingdom, but up in Scotland. And I was thinking as I watched him just riffing for about an hour, there has never been a world leader.
I didn't even realize I didn't start it from the beginning. Let's see what Piers is exactly talking about when he says that.
The last time I was on with you, Piers, I think I said that I would dress as a full clown if the stock market in 18 months had not rebounded. We are, as I speak to you right now, at an all-time high.
The level of fascistic cruelty with regard to the immigrant population here is more horrifying than I ever could have even anticipated.
Israel, whether it realizes it or not, has made itself the villain of the world. Time to wrap it up.
A lot of deals get done on the golf course, and President Trump's golfing trip to Scotland is proving to be no exception. Trump shook hands on a new trade agreement with the EU at Turnberry yesterday. Today, it was British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer's turn. Starmer is a terrible golfer and reportedly, very sensibly, declined the opportunity to show the world and Donald Trump this fact. It is a solid handicap when it comes to avoiding Trump's wrath. Both leaders agreed to work together on the escalating starvation crisis in Gaza, and Trump said that Putin's deadline for ending the war in Ukraine is to be dramatically cut to just 10 or 12 days.
Save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it, and you can't fake that. So we're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops, and the people are running for it. And the Prime Minister is going to help us. They're very effective with that. I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made.
Well, back in the US, debate is somehow still raging over the decision by CBS to cancel Stephen Colbert's Late Show. The New York Post reported yesterday on how the loss-making show has hosted 176 Democrats and just one Republican since 2022, a period in which the Democratic Party became ever more unpopular. Trump's critics say that Paramount is pandering to the president so that he'll sign off its $8 billion sale, citing a dictatorial chilling effect on press freedom. This is the same Paramount which just paid $1.5 billion for South Park, whose creators were cowed into airing shameless pro-Trump propaganda in their latest episode.
Hey, what the fuck is this, better?
This is the painting you asked for, sir.
Why is my dick so small?
But that's the size it is in the photo.
Get this guy out of here! I'm gonna sue you! I'm gonna sue both of you!
Yeah, they look really cowed, don't they? Well, Trump has been so successful in forcing his most prominent critics off air that only one or two now remain. Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, John Oliver, Jon Stewart, Bill Maher, Anderson Cooper, Laura Coates, Jake Tapper, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, Rachel Maddow, Ari Melba, Stephanie Rule, Ali Velshi, Chris Hayes, everybody on The View. I could go on and on and on. It really is beginning to feel like North Korea, isn't it? Well, joining me to discuss all this is the host of the Megyn Kelly Show, Megyn Kelly. Megyn, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How you doing, Piers?
I'm good. I was just watching Donald Trump back in my homeland of the United Kingdom, but up in Scotland. And I was thinking as I watched him just riffing for about an hour, there is never...
Also, Pizzagate is the Epstein. They're literally the same thing. And if you guys recall, Megyn Kelly, who She does say a lot of good stuff, especially in today's society. She was the one that covered up for Pizzagate, if we recall back in the day, which, yeah, it's just disgusting. But Pizzagate, if you guys haven't heard that, is Epstein. They are the same.
Never been a world leader ever that does this the way Trump does it, who can just field questions for hour after hour, talk about all range of issues, and make so much news at the same time. He's an extraordinary performer as a politician, isn't he?
It's completely refreshing, and it is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And you can almost see foreign leaders admiring him, like watching him do this. Like, you know, the head of NATO seemed completely enamored with Trump and his strength and his comfort level in communicating, in talking about his plans. He has almost nothing to hide. I mean, I guess on the downside for Trump, it does stand out when he comments on something that he clearly doesn't really want to go there on, like Epstein. Then it's like blaring, because it sounds so much different than the way he normally sounds. But on 99% of the subjects that he gets asked about or even brings up himself, he doesn't care. He'll tell you whatever he can tell you. He also knows, in my experience, the lines. Like, I can see him go right up to the line on the classified information and yet not cross it. I can see him in legal debates with snarky reporters who think they know better than Trump does what the law is, and I know what the law is. Try to push him, and Trump will say what he can say, and then he'll put just the right legal qualifier on it. He's very clever. He doesn't get enough credit for it because he communicates more like the common man, which is his gift, right? So everyone can understand and relate to him. But he has definitely a high level of intelligence and knows what he's doing.
You know, I appeared on Bill Maher's show just after he'd been to see Trump at the White House, and right around the time the global tariff war was commenced by Trump. And Bill Maher was very scathing about that, as I defended him over the trip to see Trump at the White House. But he was scathing about the tariffs. He never thought it was going to be anything other than financial chaos. And I saw today there are quotes coming out from Bill Maher, you know, that he was so wrong about the tariffs. The stock markets have never been higher. We've seen the deal announced with the EU. Things are moving with China. You know, and it just said to me again with Trump, the thing that people need to exercise more with Trump is patience. That sometimes amid the apparent chaos, there's a real plan. And if you give him enough time, it can actually work. And it looks to me like this tariff war, as people phrased it, is working. If you're an American, this seems to be working very well for America.
Yes, patience and an open mind. And unfortunately, when it comes to Trump, almost no one has the latter, at least no one who's not already a fan. You know, on tariffs, it's a good example, Piers, because I'll tell you, this is not my area of expertise. I'm not an econ kind of gal. This is not the kind of analysis I'm known for. So when it came to the tariffs, my own takeaway was, let's just watch. Let's do watchful waiting, as they say, and see how it plays out, because I have no idea. And I had the distinct impression that no one else really had any idea either. The reason Donald Trump was hired is because he does things differently. He is an outside of the box thinker. He is known for his negotiations, and he's very tough in negotiations. And so I thought there actually is a chance he knows better. There actually is a chance he could come up with some good deals here, because his transactional nature of approaching everything, especially when it comes to anything involving money, could be really useful to the United States. People said, oh, but these are our friends. And Trump's response was, well, our friends are taking advantage of us. And as it turns out, he was very right. You know, you take Japan as one example, where you can't go past a street corner in any American city without seeing Toyotas for sale. And yet we could not sell cars in Japan, not because of tariffs, but because of all the other restrictions they put on the sale of American vehicles. Well, why did we put up with that? What kind of friendship is that? And so now we've renegotiated with Japan, and things look a lot different. In fact, our deal with them looks very much like the deal he just announced that we struck with the EU, which, notwithstanding all these predictions of store shelves are going to be empty, it's going to be economic Armageddon, we've won. The Europeans wanted reciprocal zero tariffs. Trump said no. He said, I want 15. Then they said, okay, how about 10? He said, no, 15 and zero tariffs by you guys on our goods. And that's the deal we just cut. And the reason that the Europeans cut it is because our market is so huge, it's worth it. They want access to it. But on top of that, they're going to be doing billions of dollars of investment into the United States. Like, it's a multi-layer deal, which is extremely lucrative for the United States. And it's not just Japan and it's not just Europe. Trump's struck a bunch of deals in Asia, which make China less important to us, which have increased our trading presence over there. And no one's really fluttering an eyelid in response to these tariffs, which is just padding the bottom line here in the United States. For the first time in June, we were in the black on our monthly balance sheet, Piers, which we haven't been in forever because of the tariffs. So now even his critics are starting to admit, holy, you know what, they're working.
I see a lot of people also talking about with these tariffs that's bringing in billions from other countries, that on August 1st, I believe that there's going to be a huge announcement of some type of one-time payment. I believe us Americans at least deserve no less than 5 to 10 grand as long as we're working and contributing to the government, I guess you could say, with their taxpayer funds. The lazy people that bum off the government, you don't deserve a damn cent. But we deserve money. And people who say, let's just lower the debt. No, why should the American people be the ones who forge over the debt that the government literally put us through? It's not our fault that they don't know how to spend money properly. It is our fault why these idiots got voted in, because these idiots keep on getting voted in. But I mean, we shouldn't be the reason why we have to pay down the debt. If there is extra money, we should get that money while we lower the debt. I think we could do both at the same time. That's just my opinion.
Ups and downs of the economy can be stressful and worrying. One of the smartest ways to protect your savings is with diversification. And you can start by talking to the expert at Birch Gold Group. Gold's value has surged 40% in the past 12 months, driven by record-breaking central bank purchases. Even with global instability, Megyn, because I was very struck today by his little monologue he did about being a peacemaker, because people seem to forget how unusual it is to see a Republican president in particular who constantly tries to forge peace rather than perhaps some of his predecessors who preferred to forge war. And you see it almost everywhere. This is a president who does not believe that warfare is anything other than a bad thing. Yes, sometimes you have to be strong and defend yourself, but ultimately it is not a good thing for America to engage in endless foreign wars. They're expensive, both in human life cost, both in financial cost. And I look at what he's doing now with Putin. You know, I've said to people for a while, just watch him with Putin, because if Putin keeps pushing him and he keeps openly mocking him by having cordial conversations on the phone and then bombing